Hello, fans of free enterprise racing. Boy, do we have a treat for you here tonight. You are absolutely in the right place. We have two 3-2 runners, McBain and Rexbanner, about to square off. And I think when your record is 3-2, you have mixed it up. You have won some close ones. You probably lost some close ones. And both of these runners, something is big on the line for them tonight. We have Niabari handling the restream, Tavon handling the tracking, and joining me in the booth is Martin. And we're about to watch these two runners with something on the line here tonight, Martin.
Uh, you know, this is week 6. We have been through 5 weeks of some of the most amazing racing that we've seen, and now we're at two options right now. Either you are playing for your status in brackets, or you are playing to win or go home, and that's what we're looking at here this evening.
Yeah, neither one of these runners wants to go home at this point. One more loss and they go home. One more win, as you said, they move on to the bracket rounds. The flags change. They're going to have new challenges ahead of them, but they have one last challenge tonight. Looks like we have a Sid start, which I'm sure both runners are looking forward to getting off the ground pretty quickly and making some early checks as they try to complete 4 out of the 5 objectives that we can see on McBain's screen, though there are different objectives currently in the middle of the screen if you'd like to talk about those.
I hear they might be musically related, but I definitely don't have enough tequila in me to be singing those. But you all just imagine it in your mind, and we're there. Let's go with that tonight.
We do have a double boss hunt, so but before we get to nerf the Big Bang again, we're going to have to find at least one of those two bosses. And as we all know, sometimes the boss hunt can be the thing that unless you find it early, can kind of be nagging at the back of your head, wondering where exactly either DKC or Dark Elf might be lurking.
Yeah, it's dangerous. I mean, like we've said, we're 3-2. This is win or go home. Do you stick with the traditional? I have my routing. I'm going to continue. I'm going to go from A to B to C. Do you make the bold play of sitting through a package to see what the boss is behind it, knowing that the amount of time that costs you may cost you the entire race? I mean, there's so many decisions here that you're looking at, and literally any one of them, right or wrong, either punches your ticket for brackets or sends you home.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing if some bold plays get made, but we're about to start here, and we have a strong Sid and a strong White Mage Porm start, and we have a Baigan that I'm pretty used to seeing in that spot.
Yeah, I hear that could be vanilla. That might be a thing. Uh, I'm not against the Sid start. Sid does amazing things in this flag set very early, courtesy of her starting equipment, which happens to be both a dwarf axe and a strength ring. So you do have a good bit of firepower to get through the early game. The pole rom, not so much, but you can a good heroine robe, maybe a bow, maybe some arrows, and hey, you're off and running. So.
And perhaps not too long, Porm's going to have all of those great utility spells that she gets a little bit earlier than everyone's preferred White Mage of Rosa. So maybe we'll see some early Berserking Sid or some protected characters with her early blink, and not to mention her exit. But it looks like both of our runners are have the same thing in mind to start.
Yeah, I'm not against the Baron check. A lot of it is planning. I mean, knowing who that character is in the Baron Inn kind of gives you an idea of, okay, well, what am I going to loot? What loot am I looking for? What can I sell? So, I mean, you've got different decisions.
Speaking of loot, both runners going right for those hidden chests behind the Baron shop counter, grabbing a Soma drop out of one. So if we find either a Fu or a Tella that could be useful, that gives a 10 point boost to the magic points. And we find a couple spears in the shop.
Not too bad. I also noticed the starting equipment actually for the characters was pretty good. Mute arrows coming courtesy of Sid and a power bonk staff on Porom. So we're not in a bad place to start. Also, that sorcerer robe coming out of Baron Armor Shop is going to be amazing, whether it's for a Black Mage or Porom right now. So
we'll see if McBain follows Rex down into into the old waterway underneath Baron because Rex just pulled a white spear. So if we find a cane, that's a nice advantage for Rex early on.
Mhm.
Those three chests are nice and convenient to loot when you have a starting Baron key.
Yeah, not only are they convenient to loot, but looking at the numbers, they have possibilities of hitting some very nice loot in there. Usually, what most runners will do is you'll pick up a Baron key and you're immediately going for the bosses in Baron, get through, get your character, etc., so forth. So having access to that early and popping something nice out of it is always a welcome addition.
We see a family stare down on top of Mount Hobbs, DKC and Golbez. And McBain says, not yet.
Can't blame I Gomez, I won't call it a free fight. There's a few mechanics that are involved in it. Um, but seeing it there when you don't have that many characters and you're not sitting through the entire script, it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it is time consuming. So
Looks like Rex is going to go through the boss of the Mist Cave, which is Elements, probably looking for the 4 chests behind it, which can yield some pretty good results here early on.
yeah, excellent item possibilities here. Also, you see the power of that Sid and that Strength Ring and Dwarfax combo. And
Speaking
that
of power.
shirt, which is about to make Sid a whole lot better. So looks like Rex getting rewarded for the early Mist Cave play and a glass helmet even.
Keep that form alive as long as you want.
Yeah, I was gonna say, whoever that goes on, physical attacks, you were not really worried about a lot of anything at that point.
How about this idea? I think that was a Palom over in Baron Inn, and that second fight can be tricky, but with the hit points of Sid, having that twin start, I wonder if any runners will try to go that, out of the traditional sequence.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe even something as simple as, because that first boss has such low HP, maybe it comes down to, all right, well, I need to get this Quack Kid online. So the sooner I get him in my party, the better off I'm going to be. Maybe you go spy it. Maybe you go kill that first boss, because chances are with Sid, it's going to take one throw of a Dwarf Axe and it's gone. And see who that second boss is.
Yeah,
if it's something doable. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, we've seen the Mylon Z sprite a couple times, first in the form of Elements, but now actually Mylon Z defending the item down at the bottom of the Antlion nest. Let's see what the reward is for McBain. Our first key item check yields a defense sword, so that white spear advantage has been tempered a little bit if we find that cane.
Yeah, a little bit. Let's not discount the fact, though, the white spear used as an item also does cast white and also does a very respectable amount of damage. And until Kane gets levels, you'll probably see that spear used as an item more than you will see it being attacked with or being jumped with. So
we just have to see if we end up finding that cane or not right now. No sign of cane with our overworld character checks. No one's checked the Kaipo Inn yet, but we have Golbez takes out his brother on Rexbanner's side, and the 2 characters will be left standing. I'm sure Rex is pretty happy that the 788 hit point Sid is still upright.
Yeah, I was going to say, of all the characters you want, that's the one you want standing for this, so.
Probably taunted him into it for the betterment of the team.
Mm-hmm. It looks like on McBain's side, cabins and life potions for sale in Fabul. So not a bad little item shop to find early on. Take care of all your camping gear needs.
Good to grab those and not have to worry about your moon dives. I'm sure we've all been down at the bottom of the moon and wondering how do we refill our party's hit points and MP.
I was going to say, you learn. I'm not going to say anyone should ever attempt this, but go to the bottom of the moon with a single tent. And maybe a foo and a couple, people you normally want to berserk. And you learn to ration MP very well when you don't have camping gear, let me tell you.
That's true. Rexbanner got through his Golbez fight, has a DKC just waiting to be turned into a Paladin. We'll see how quickly Rex decides to climb Mount Ordeals. And we got McBain dealing with Ruby.
Fortunately, a great spot for Ruby. We love seeing Ruby in spots that don't have a lot of magic power. You find a ruby at like Ogopogo, Sealed Cave Bridge. You may regret your life choices, but here, I mean, that glare's still gonna hit pretty hard. But the counter spells and the fire twos not gonna be too terrible.
I feel like I saw Boreas early on. I'm assuming maybe Rex had it, unless I'm completely mistaken. Because otherwise, I'm sure McBain would have thrown it during that fight.
Absolutely. Looks like McBain's gonna do the Mist Cave play here and get rewarded with that power shirt here shortly. So that'll be wonderful.
This early game has been all Mylon and Ruby, and a little bit of Golbez thrown in.
Oh yeah, question from chat: does glare pierce walls? Yes, it does. It's a great idea to try and get a wall up. Unfortunately, the glare Ruby does not care.
Rex did attempt to power bonk Sid into Berserk there. Luckily, at that spot, not quite necessary, though we may see that strategy employed to better effect, perhaps up on our deals where the bosses have a few more hit points. We'll see if we can land one of those nice Berserks off the power staff.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what Rex does here. That defense sword, even though yes, it is Kane's best weapon until Kane hits, whatever level, maybe 58 thereabouts. Also works for Cecil really well. So maybe we see a play where Fabul just kind of goes on the side burner here for a minute, and Rex just takes a straight line right down to Ordeals right now.
Let's see if McBain takes that early play here. Looks like he's going to be going for it.
I don't blame him. I mean, you look at the octopus here. This is going to be one thrown axe and goodbye. But as we all know, it's a war, bow and arrows. I hear that works too. I'm curious about this second fight though.
Yeah, any physical boss that's going to hit off in like DMs would be very tricky with this party. I mean, Sid's got the HP, but I'm not sure if he could live through that at this point.
Right.
Well,
okay. Well, that goes one of two ways, and there you go.
There's your free fight.
Yep. So Palom is more or less, here you go, have a quack kid. So
yeah, this is going to be potentially a pretty big advantage going up Ordeals.
Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know if McBain would maybe possibly take a few encounters on Ordeals just to get the kid the initial spell loadout, because the kid does not come with the level 2 spells. You need a level or two to unlock them all. So I wouldn't be surprised to maybe see encounters go on for a second, or another attempt at that Ruby over in, I believe it was Fabul, to get the XP for those levels.
Well, we have one half of Objective 3, so in case you're new to this tournament, we have 3 static objectives that are the same for every single one of these seeds. Complete Cave Magnus, you need the Twin Harp, you have to forge with the Adamant and the Legend Sword, and that Pinktail objective requires the hook and the Pinktail. Well, one of those has now been acquired by McBain from the Baron Incheck. We'll see where McBain goes next, while Rex deals with Ogopogo up at the first fight on Ordeals.
I'll tell you, the seed's been kind so far. I mean, there are a lot of bosses that we either A, have seen, or B, we know about that we don't want to see in the late game. Ogopogo, Baigen, Ruby. All these are terrible if you find them on the moon. And the fact that they are all currently sitting in front of us is just, it's a wonderful thing to see as a runner when you're not worried about these.
It is. Now we'll just have to see if the seed serves up those required bosses. So those are our 2 random objectives, 4 and 5. They can pull from either the boss hunt pool or the character hunt pool, but we just got 2 boss hunts, and we'll see. Ordeals is, in addition to getting a Cecil, it's always a great play to make with boss hunts because you do get 3 quick bosses in a row.
Absolutely, and I guarantee you both runners are really hoping that Dark Knight is possibly sitting up on Ordeals or somewhere easy and not, say, Leviathan of all places, or something where you're questioning how you're going to beat that fight.
Yeah, so his waves, they work off of the physical attack, correct?
Yeah, in that spot you were looking anywhere between, I believe it's 1130 to 1300 per wave, and you've
Yep.
got speed at that spot, so you're usually that's one of those you walk in, you see it, and how fast can I cast exit and get out of the Fey March? That's usually how the response goes.
Well, here are D-Imps
Mhm,
in the back attack
mhm,
spot. These are going to hit a little hard, but Sid looks very well defended. That power shirt
mhm.
is gonna keep Sid alive to finish this fight off.
Yeah, combination power shirt plus that glass helm. I mean, there's nothing that's.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, you could probably put down your controller, go take a quick break, come back, and you're still fine. Rubber band the A button, and
Yep.
we're off and
I was going
running.
to suggest tape, but rubber band is good too.
Yep,
The tape
yep,
can
yep.
peel off if the humidity is slightly off.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and if you use the wrong tape on your controller, you get that sticky residue afterwards, and
Mhm.
sometimes it just plays havoc with the button. And yeah, no, you don't want to do that.
All right, we'll have to ask Rex later. Rubber band is probably the way he went. Yeah. In addition, though, that power shirt, the strength ring, protecting, but also leading to a 4-digit hit with that dwarf axe on one of those poor dark imps.
Hmm. I don't know if I'd call them poor dark imps, though. I'm pretty sure Rex is currently not feeling bad for them at all. So, on
You don't think
McBain's side, go ahead.
I was just going to say, amongst all the destruction that he's wreaking, there's not a little percentage of him with the pity for the dark imps.
No, not at all. Yeah, off the bridge they go. Goodbye. And on McBain's side, looks like round 2 against Ruby here. So how's the Quack Kid with a dancing dagger? So that'll help out on the damage side.
Nice
nifty,
combo there.
Yeah, nifty little trick you'll see is because of how Twin operates, using an item or a spell on the Black Mage and then immediately firing off Twin with the White Mage basically gets you kind of the, double damage.
I think this dancing throw might do it. Let's see. Yep, there it is.
There you go. Oh, and Rex gets a nice little item courtesy of Ordeals. That is
Shiny
an
and
Earth
green.
Crystal. Yeah. Oh, we may have loot in our immediate future.
Yep, this is certainly a team. Even though we found that decent defense sword, and you're not going to find, with this flag set, you're not going to find an Excal, a Crystal Sword, or Avenger. You might find a Light Sword. You might find another Power Shirt, Zeus Gauntlet kind of. Actually, are Zeus is in there?
Yes, they are, I believe,
Yes.
tier 6.
There's,
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, but speaking of things we find, so about that DKC at Leviathan, well, unfortunately, folks, not tonight.
We're not getting 1,300 waves here.
No, we are not. Yep, that is a sit back, relax, and enjoy the dialogue, and we get to tick off objective number 4.
So we know what objective 4 is. We know half of objective 3 is behind the Baron Inn, and we'll see. Looks like we got a spoon out of Fabul. As we were looking at DKC, I saw that spoon light up. So if we find an Eddy, that is the highest powered weapon in the game. Eddy, of course, has his limits to what he can do with it because of his glass cannon nature. But we'll see if the spoon comes into play either with an Eddy or maybe even an edge pickup could be nice.
Yeah, quite possible. The issue with Ed, and as much as I love Ed, and obviously Rex loves Ed due to Eddie strats previously in the tournament, you have a power shirt, you have a glass helm, so you have Eddie equipment in your inventory. You also have a Cecil. So yeah. Eddie unfortunately is going to have a spoon and not a lot of anything else. So that's the only detriment right now of finding Ed is, here you go, Ed, here's your spoon. Cool, what else do I get? About that. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, Eddie would have to convince the party to go searching for a second power shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Which again, we do have that Earth Crystal. Yep.
Yeah, we have access to it. So hey, who knows? Maybe Ed is sitting up top on Zot, just waiting to come along.
So we have knowledge of the major overworld checks, and it looks like our underground access is going to be coming either from Baron Inn or or Tower of Zot with that Earth Crystal, not from any of the kind of default checks that you get to make.
Yeah. I'm curious to see, obviously, you know, with Rex being in Baron right now, having a party, having Cecil, getting this kid. You know, do you go do Earth? Yeah, I know Earth has loot. You know, it's great loot. But the bosses here in Baron Castle, they aren't terrible in the scheme of things, HP wise, etc. Versus that first boss up sitting on Zot that sometimes can be a real pain depending on what it is.
And of course, with the Baron check, you also get a character check, and if that character check leads to someone strong that helps you get through Zot, then not doing that first would become a detriment. Some runners like to do Zot because it deposits you right at Baron, and it's kind of a nice little routing shortcut. But yeah, missing out on a strong character to get you through Zot in the first place could be a mistake.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, you know, we've both been around the block. You know, we've seen 5 rounds of this. We've seen some nasty bosses up at that first Zot location. So, you know, don't sit there and say, okay, well, I have a Cecil, I have, you know, all this great gear, I can get through this. Not necessarily. There are things up there that don't play nice.
Yeah, I'm thinking of Valvalis slightly out of position.
Yeah, I hear she's real peach in the wrong location. Not that we have any experience with that at all, but you know, hey, it could happen.
I mean, I think a defense sword power shirt does get through it, but the question is how quickly.
Yeah, exactly. And it's something we talk about a lot, both as racers and as commentators, is yes, I can do a fight, but how long is it going to take me? And is it worthwhile to do it right now? So all that is currently running through Rex's mind on, okay, do I go do Earth? Do I do Baron? What am I doing? I mean, I'm all for being greedy. I love loot.
Yeah.
So
at the very least, we are getting a treasury check.
Yep.
So folks in chat, start thinking of a number from 1 to 10. I mean, don't declare it yet. You have to see what's in the boxes, but we will be asking you for a number very shortly.
Yeah. Also, I hear words work very well too. So, you know, like Palom out of 10. If it's all like 3 Stardust Rods and some other things, that is an acceptable number as well. If it's all Silent Staff and Heroin Robe, you can call it Porom out of 10. That works.
Raise that treasury!
Well, Zeus Gauntlet, Mursame, a second white spear, and there's your Palom.
Yep, there's Stardust Rod. It's a nice wide variety of things I saw in there. So that's very variable. It's good for a lot of things. So
yeah, I'd be pretty happy with the Zeus Gauntlet and that Stardust Rod. And if we find the Edge, the Mursame is a great thing to immediately give him to hold and to take care of.
I wouldn't discount the spears either, not because, hey, Kane, but because, hey, darts for Edge if we find them. So having a few extra of those, Ninja Star, etc., so forth.
Yep.
Sometimes those help in certain fights.
I wonder if both runners made a note there with Drain Spears were for sale in the Baron weapon shop. So if we find an Edge, some runners like to pick up a stack of those just to get some really quick, immediate damage. But first, of course, it requires an Edge, which could be here. Edge is one of those characters we consider kind of a higher tier, so he's gated by a key item, and this is one of the spots where you pick up 2 characters. So I don't think either runner would mind seeing an Edge at this point, this early in the seed.
No, not at all, especially with the equipment that we have access to. And like you said, the knowledge of, hey, Drain Spears are for sale, is Edge isn't going to do a lot of damage out of the gate. But if he's throwing Drain Spears at 2,500 a shot to start with, that's going to help the process along a little, where you're like, I don't really care how hard you swing as long as I have a healthy supply of these.
McBain kind of doing the reverse order from Rex, completing Mount Ordeals first, and now definitely wants to go and grab that Cecil, who is going to be in slightly different clothing than we saw him the last time.
Yeah, slightly different slightly different starting equipment too. So I'm curious to see how this plays out. So I didn't notice on Brex's side. I don't know. Did he spy the first 2 chests possibly for the doggo, or did he just walk by them both?
I think he did. Chad is mentioning some items. I believe he took a look in those first 2 chests. It looks like he's not digging deeper. Some runners will choose to dig deep into that area we call the Trident, looking for the Flame Dog, but Rex is going right for the first boss here.
Yeah, it's a little bit of effort going through, that little 3-prong trying to figure out which one is. Uh-oh. Well, I mean, it's not Val, but it's fun.
Lots of fun. We have a Stardust Rod that I think we might see put to work here.
Yeah, very useful for this fight because I hear slimes. Yeah, they just take 1 damage on physical attacks. So if you don't have some sort of magic-based item here, you don't get through these very easily. So that Stardust Rod, welcome pickup for that fight. So, and like you said, chances are we'll probably see it used in all 5 fights just because of the amount of damage it puts out. So I believe it should one-shot most of the gauntlet here.
Also, not a bad little mini grind here, 20 minutes into the game. We'll see how far it takes both of the twins, see if they get some of their most useful spells unlocked after getting through this one.
Yeah, this is definitely actually more experience than the vanilla fight gives. For context, the vanilla fight here, it's 9,000 experience. So when you see how this fight concludes and the amount it gives you, it actually is scaled a bit higher. So it's actually one of those locations. This is not a bad thing to see in this spot.
It is not. No, not at all. And Rex did put that power staff to work, berserked up that center slot Cecil, and got a couple extra hits in there.
Mm-hmm. It looks like Rex is going to have some company here shortly because it looks like McBain is heading right over to say hi.
A little quick trip to the shop first. Let's see if McBain picks up anything useful. Starveil is always a good thing to see. Yep. Golbez out of the picture, one of the bosses you use Starveil's on, but there are still a couple that you wouldn't want to be low on when you saw them.
No, not at all. There's, depending on your party composition, yeah, you're burning one on Golbez is almost a given. You trip on a Wyvern in the wrong location. If you don't have enough damage to do a high HP Bahamut, I mean,
yep.
You start with enough Starveils that you probably can get through 1 or 2 of those, but having one for maybe reflex strats on Z or, something along those lines, it's very nice when you trip on them in a shop and can be like, let me buy 3 extras because they'll come in handy.
It's nice that they weren't hiding in Silvera, which is probably one of the least visited item shops, and right in McBain's path as he is about to probably check out his own treasury and then climb the tower.
Now, one thing I did notice on McBain, and no, I'm not calling out McBain for this, but I know we're all guilty of it, went into the item shop, bought the Starveils, but didn't sell off anything. So we may run into that elusive inventory boss here when we get into the treasury. We'll see how McBain navigates this.
Yeah, he doesn't know now, but he can easily have not taken that change rod if he didn't want to. But of course, that came up before the Stardust Rod.
Yep. And it looks like he navigated the inventory boss just fine. I guarantee you his inventory is overflowing at this exact moment, though.
Well, yeah, we'll see if you've cursed him to the inventory boss if he chooses to open either of these 2 first chests. But it looks like he's going to actually...
Yeah. How much spot? Oh, no. All the way down, McBain. We need to see how much room he had left at the bottom. Okay, plus the 2 items. Okay, he was 1 short.
And yeah, and then he's clearing it out. The characters are all going to carry their own weight now.
Yeah. Well, good news. Rex is through that fight. Better news. Rex now has virus on the Quack Kid. So that's fantastic.
And yep, just 3 levels behind Quake.
Also, hey, look, it's a superior white mage.
Are we going to see an immediate swap?
I
guess it depends.
I feel like Twin may have outlived its usefulness. I feel like Porom might just have to go.
Could come down to who the other character here is in Zot. Let's see if it's an obvious call.
Yeah, I'm going to go with it's an obvious call.
I think so.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody make sure wave to Porom.
We want Marge.
Yep.
Goodbye, Maggie.
Quick little back row glitch there on Kane to get him enabled, and yeah, here come very large damage numbers out of Kane. So this is going to be great. So also
His outfit's kind of clashing, but I think we can live with that for a little while.
Yeah, I'll get over it. I was gonna say on Rosa's side, Power Monk staff obviously to get Berserk running, but they both did find a Samurai Bow on Ordeals.
Yep.
So Rosa doing the whole pew pew is going to do very well here shortly.
So some arty arrows in there as well.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is a fun little fight to see here.
Well.
Now, how come Rex would use a mute bell on these physical fighter guards? That doesn't make any sense.
Because the guards talk a lot. That's why. Every time you do something to the guards, they decide they want to counter it with something. So muting them takes
keep saying
care.
piggy.
Yeah, it keeps trying to cast people into pig. You'd think they learned their lesson though. I mean, you have a muted enemy. It's like, oh, I can't do this. Well, I'm gonna keep trying it though. Maybe it's gonna go through. Spoilers. It doesn't.
Nope. And your prediction from earlier came true. We did see the white cast from the white spear from Kane doing about 700 damage. I'm wondering, I don't know, there was no Zeus gauntlet or power shirt put on. I'm wondering if a jump with the white spear would do more at this point.
With a base level Kane, I'm gonna say right? No. I'm probably gonna say it's gonna take probably 10, 15 levels before you probably see Kane shift over.
Well, he's going to get a lot of those levels after this fight. This is a good amount of experience for a base level character to get from this spot.
Mm-hmm.
I think our Quake Kid finished one level shy of Quake on that fight, but a good amount of experience, and we'll see if the key item is also a payoff here.
I would almost say a little regret that the kid didn't learn Quake, because we have a pretty good feeling that we're going into Baron next, and we know Baigen is the first boss there, and Quake does amazing things to Baigen. But with this party, we'll get over it, and that's a hook.
All right, Martin, if this is you,
yes.
If this is you, Martin, do you go right to check Pinktail, or do you go to Baron first?
That Baron just screams to me, because it was my starting item. Let's get cute. Kane has his best two weapons in his inventory. We know that for a fact.
Mm-hmm.
You're hunting for an X-Scout or a Crystal Sword probably for Cecil, which a Pinktail can provide. It is an objective. You need to dump the hovercraft down at Evelyn anyways. I'm not against this. Go up, launch the hovercraft, grab the Pinktail, leave the hovercraft in front of Evelyn. But I'm still doing Baron.
Baron before Hook.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I was just wondering, would you take the time to do what Rex is doing? I think I would too.
Yeah.
I mean, if you get an Avenger or the Crystal Sword or any of those high tier weapons for Cecil, I think it's a payoff.
Yeah, it breaks so much, and the odds are pretty good that you're going to hit something. It may not be for Cecil, but it's still going to be something good. So there's that rare chance, and not that everything is, sunshine and rainbows courtesy of the Pinktail. Sometimes there are the joke prizes, like a firebomb or a longsword or a vampire.
Let's see how funny this is.
Or a white shirt. I hear those are pretty common too.
Those are pretty good. I wouldn't laugh at a white shirt.
No, this early on, no. White shirt is hugely invaluable. I'm not against it. I'd rather have a Crystal Sword. That's me being greedy, but I'll take the white shirt. So,
yeah, offense maybe being your best defense, but looks like Rex might be fading Baron for now. We'll see if it's just a shop and character check, or if he's going to full commit to Hook. My guess is he'll have to see who that boss is and who the character is to make that call.
Yeah. Now, the one advantage to this, and this is something that we always think about when we come in here, it's not only are you checking a character, are you checking to see, hey, hourglasses and coffins. That's a nice shot. But can you get out of here quickly? If you are coming in just for the character check, do you have exit? Otherwise, it's kind of a long walk out. And the great part is, because we just did Zot, thankfully, Rosa now has exit on her, spell list, and I believe Cecil may have learned it earlier as well. So I believe we're okay.
I think we have two options. Yep.
Yeah. So you'll actually see people, kind of decide that, like, okay, if I'm going to check this, it's going to take me a minute and change to get out. Is there a character that I want that's going to make this worth it? Do I need the loot? What's in the shops? What can be useful for me right now?
Ninja had a nice piece of gear. I wouldn't be surprised. Oh, but instead Rex goes for the black shirt to help out that Palom.
Mm-hmm. Kind of an interesting combo. I'm curious to see where this goes with the black shirt. Had a sorcerer, I believe he bought the sorcerer robe out of Baron, also has a white shirt. So that covers the two mages. So I'm curious what the plan for the black shirt is.
Was it Rex that bought it or McBain?
I'm not. I remember somebody spent 30,000 on one.
I think it was only one of them. I'm not sure which one.
Yeah,
it was.
yeah. So depending on that may be your reason why right there. So, but let's see who the character is. I'm curious. Wow. Okay. That's a thing. Huh.
It's just kind of a tricky call because we have better cane weapons right now.
Yeah. But Cecil's what's the word I want to use? Cecil's ceiling is so much higher. Like,
it would definitely be a risk to drop to not take the Cecil because under the flag set you cannot regain a character if you say goodbye to them. It's called the bye flag.
Yeah, I'm curious if obviously. Wow.
Ooh,
is this thinking. The route we're going? It is.
He is, yep.
Kane is gone.
Well, Rex has more money to spend because we can now sell all of those cane weapons unless we want to dart them with a potential future edge. And looks like he's out.
I'll tell you what, for a play like that, I hope he's rewarded for it.
I was almost wondering if he'd...
Go ahead.
I was wondering if he'd head right to Castle Eblin to hunt down some of that high tier Cecil loot, but looks like he's gonna.
I wouldn't be against it, especially with the kid not having Quack right now. I might go try and spike one of those chests and maybe see if I can pull another weapon for a second Cecil. I mean, he's got one with a dwarf, or not a dwarf, a defense sword. So we're kind of part of the way home.
And is our restreamer Niabari covering for us? Were we both blinded by Cecil? Did we miss the Dark Elf there in the boss spot?
I think we might have actually. I was so busy being stunned by the Cecil that I completely missed the sprite.
That happens to me when I run all the time. If there's a foo there, forget about me knowing who that boss is.
Oh yeah, no. And then you're like, wait, who did I see there? Let me go load up my own VOD and watch this back. Like, oh, it's that. Yeah, that's right. It's that one. Yeah, we've all been there. Don't judge us.
So this kind of race has swung back and forth. Rex, I think, had an early lead. McBain is now further ahead in terms of just the progress through Baron, but Rex has the Eblin Cave info, the second Cecil, so I kind of like how this has swung back and forth a little bit in terms of who is where.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And obviously the boss is in here. Not going to present a problem to either of our racers right now. Between Baigen and Dr. Dialogue here, should be pretty straightforward to the end. I'm really curious what's in that Baron trash can.
I would expect both of these very skilled runners to also peek Odin before committing to Hook to see if that's a doable fight at these levels. Definitely a step up in difficulty from the main castle fights, but it's something that's not out of the realm of possibility given the gear they have.
No, not at all. It's also a step up in difficulty in terms of speed. So you need to watch out for that spot as far as anchoring goes.
Mm.
Yeah, that spot can get really ugly with, why am I not getting a turn when the boss gets 5? It can happen, and it's not fun being on the receiving end of it.
Maybe an antline down there could be a little dangerous for them right now. Though,
Yeah.
Cecil potentially with the glass hat, the power shirt, could do some kind of cover strats. That might be where you might want to have the Palom. So we'll see if that character choice plays a role.
Speaking of character choice, hi, I have a spoon. Well, Ed, guess what? You're coming along for the game.
There he is.
Spoonword is online.
Our spoony bard in full effect. Goodbye, Sid.
Now, how long Spoonword is online for remains to be seen because McBain has not seen the second Cecil yet. So this might be a short-lived tour for Spoonword. I don't know.
And Rex hasn't seen the spoon, so we have this very interesting little set of circumstances.
Yeah, right. I guess one of the few good parts is what Eddie obviously with a spoon does amazing things. But taking Ed as a character, what do you really need Ed for in the vanilla game? Short of like an evil wall or, something kind of cheeky like that. So, yeah, Rex in all reality is probably going to say goodbye to Edward once he sees him.
I think so. I think he feels very confident with his melee options, his white magic option, his black magic option, and his anchor option because his Palom did virus down his Sid. Because at those levels, Sid can still be a good anchor with just the Dwarf X.
Yep, absolutely. I'll say now, the one thing I am curious about is I'm watching McBain, run through inventory on everyone. Where is that glass helmet? Because that's actually, believe it or not, an amazing piece of equipment for Ed, seeing as though Ed is more or less a wet paper bag. If you sneeze on Ed, Ed is going to die. So anything that can give Ed some physical defense is always a welcome thing, like a glass helmet.
Does that upgrade him from wet paper bag to maybe dried paper mache?
Yeah, I mean, it takes a little more effort to kill him that way, but,
I'm trying to remember where the glass hat came from and if McBain picked it up.
It was missed. It was part of the mist checks.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So has the power robe, so he did go in there. I just don't know how far he went.
Oh, there it is.
Okay, it's on the kit. I'm wondering, yeah, that it's such a great piece of equipment. It's not something you want to sit there and be like, oh, I'm just going to leave this in my inventory. No, this needs to get on someone like, uh-oh. Yeah, I'm sorry. For those that blinked and missed that, by the way, that was actually Val Vallis in the Baron basement. That's not gonna happen for a while. So she can stay there.
I'm impressed McBain let his team take one step toward her before resetting.
Yeah. You see the sprite, and it takes a little time for your brain to process the fact, no, this is like the worst thing ever. And where's my reset?
Should I even
again?
try? No.
Yeah, do I want to play with this? No.
Do I need to take a few rounds of combat to convince myself this is not the right play right now?
Yeah, for those that don't know about that spot, so one, that spot it's usually we're more fearful of that because it has high magic power there. So finding a boss like, Mega Sisters or something that has a lot of, magical based attacks, Ruby even, it's a rough spot. Val is a different sort of character when it comes to those spots. Once Val gets spinning in that spot, you cannot hit her with any magic whatsoever. Also, she's got a few evade multipliers in that spot and some decent physical defense. So it's going to take a little bit to do some damage to her. And in the meantime, you are getting weaked, you are getting bopped, and you are getting petrified. So it's not a pleasant experience in any way, shape, or form.
I'm petrified already. I'm not even racing.
Yeah.
I'll
allow it. You may not be Baka Shinobi, but I'll allow it.
Appreciate it. Rex, of course, did dismiss Eddie pretty quickly, not having seen the spoon yet, and again having two Cecils with probably dreams of maybe an Excal Crystal combo at some point. We'll see if those dreams come true for Rex. As let's see if he returns directly to the hook route. Looks like he is, and our runners are going to be right on each other's heels going through this hook route.
Only difference is McBain is going to have a little surprise in about 30 seconds.
Surprise followed by intense, quick decision making.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I feel like that's probably why they put the cutscene in there was so you had that, you know, valuable 7 to 10 seconds to be like, all right, who am I getting rid of? Because it's Cecil.
All right, let's look at the boss sprite this time because we failed last time.
Okay, now we've succeeded.
That's absolutely the Dark Elf.
Yes.
I agree with Neobari. So, viewers, we are basically one key, either one key item in the form of the harp or two key items in the form of the adamant and the legend from Go Mode. So if either of those present themselves after our runners get underground, this could be one of those things we refer to as a jet seed and over pretty quickly. We'll see how easily the key items are laid out before our runners.
Yeah, and there's going to be so many choices. Obviously, both you and me run the game. As soon as you get through that hook route, the options are immediate because you get to see who's on top of Lower Babel. You have an option for a freebie via the Fey March. You have Sheila 1 in Sylph available to you. There's just options immediately, and if any of those spike the Twin Harp, you're off and running.
Yep. Though Chad does point out we would also need Z-axis at some point in either the darkness crystal or the pass.
That's a future problem. We don't worry. Let's get Go Mode first, then we'll figure out how to get to the moon. So that's future Rex and McBain's problem. So,
and look at our runners on the same fight, both having made the same decision at the hook. McBain did drop Kane for the second Cecil, and I bet they're both hoping for a huge payoff here from this Mad Ogres fight.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, you are specifically looking for a sword for one of these two. So I would say, I would even go so far as to say this is our final game party. I mean, unless a foo shows up that you're trading your Quack Kid out for, I feel like this might be about where the buck stops.
Yep. Riddy is not making this team. Porm's already been dismissed.
Yeah.
Edge could be a decision if we don't find great Cecil weapons.
You know, like you said, this might come down to who, if either of them remember that, yes, Drain Spears were for sale on Baron.
So we're essentially neck and neck. McBain is up the Fabul check, which only yielded a spoon. I say only, he is putting it to work. And what was that item there?
That was just a samurai bow. So, unfortunately, we got one of those for free, courtesy of Ordeals, but hey, two's always better than one? I don't know. Maybe?
Well, I mean, if nothing else, that will help the Cecils contribute in this fight. Could we do defense, sword, and, samurai bow and arty arrows? I'd say
maybe they get even as lucky as to, have some white arrows in their inventory. Who knows? Stranger things have happened.
I wonder if any runner gave stock to the fact that they did have a cane with a white spear, and that is what Dark Elf is weak to, and we have not even seen, say, a lightsaber yet for the Cecils. Yeah,
where you get that nice little, damage boost via the Dark Elf. So it's interesting to think that, Rex had that knowledge early, obviously seeing that Cecil, and was like, okay, well, white spear cane, even though you'd be great for this fight, I'm not worried. Speaking of great for fights, well, we have two ways to dealing with this one.
So just as long as one of these Cecils survives a couple swings and a kick or two, looks like we're going to be clear on Rex's side right now. This fight's over.
Yeah, for those that don't know, by the way, little known fact about this spot. Vanilla, this is where King and Queen Evelyn are. They don't cast a lot. They don't cast very hard. But if you go and look at the stats at this spot, they are absolutely terrifying. So there's a reason why this spot is feared by many runners. Depending on who you find there, it can ruin your day, your run, putting down the game for a little while. It can be rough. So that's definitely a welcome freebie for them.
Absolutely. Both runners not even concerned enough to go back and save, and I do not blame them. This is a 3-2 race. You're not going to go back and take those 20 seconds to save when you have that free boss ahead of Dark Elf, and Dark Elf might be annoying here, but eventually he's going to hit that second form, and I think they both have hourglasses. The second form can be stopped. Just a matter of getting through these weeks and piggies.
Yeah, unfortunately, neither of them have access to like a Tella or a Fu, where you can shorten that second fight down to nothing via week. But you know what? An hourglass, it prevents enough that you just basically turn the Cecils loose and you're off and running. So,
what did that Cecil on Rex's side just hit with?
Punch. It's a nice little glitch. It's actually called the Berserk glitch. And it has to do with casting Berserk on a character and being in their item menu when the Berserk hits and pulling their weapon off to where the character never resolves and it still thinks it has whatever weapon is on. So now you can move that weapon down to another character.
That's a pretty heads-up play there by Rex.
Yeah, and I mean, let's face it, it's always fun watching Cecil punch for 2,000 damage. I mean, that's just hilarious.
I mean, I assumed he had double cat claws, but thanks for correcting me.
I think that's a whole different glitch. That's called wacky flags. I forget the exact name. I know it's Omni. Let me just equip everything under the sun and stuff, but I hear it's a thing.
Yes, I played one Omnidextrous Seed, and it is indeed pretty fun to throw any piece of equipment almost anywhere.
Yes.
Both runners are ready on the second form, the dragon form. And yep, these fights are not going to last too much longer. And we're going to be getting underground at very close to the same side, just about 10 minutes under the hour mark.
Mm-hmm. And there's the collapse on Rex's side, and he is through. And right behind is McBain.
One crumble ends as the other begins, just as was intended.
All right, we got a race. I love it. I always love when it's like, okay, a lot of racers, they'll time, hey, who got underground first? What time did you hit? X. Take your pick. This is about as even as it gets right here. So,
and here we go. This race to avoid elimination from the tournament. The first steps that these runners take underground could play a huge role if they diverge.
Mm-hmm. And Rex didn't spy the top of the tower.
McBain did. Learned a little bit.
Well, it's a thing.
It's not Ogo.
It is not Ogo. But it is
That's
something.
all we can say.
Yeah. That's about it. So I feel like there's a thing where, okay, if the boss is free, you kind of keep that one in your head as a possible, maybe future type thing to do. But not spying it at all, that's... Unless you feel like you're not going back there to a point where I don't care what's up there, I'm going to run it over regardless.
Well, we did say Rex immediately land, but I guess that was a misclick, and looks like both runners are headed the same way right out of the gate, so no divergence yet.
Yeah. Now, usually what you'll see with racers, not in this mode because we have slightly different rules now. They have 3 objectives completed already. What you'll see a lot of people do is possibly go dwarf first and maybe see if you can spike the pan or something like that to where you only have to do 1 rotation underground. But when you are specifically looking for a rock, a legend sword, or a twin harp, you're checking what the game is going to hand you for free first. And then you can kind of decide what you're going to do from there. So. Yeah,
if you hit underground and you have 1 character objective and 1 boss objective still on the table, dwarf is an excellent play. But no, neither runner wants to take that long of a check for just 1 key item check, checking their freebies. I wouldn't be surprised to see Rex perhaps immediately do the Sheila 1 setup back to Fabul because he hasn't done Fabul yet.
Yeah, getting basically 2 checks done at the same time. I mean, that's why people talk about, not doing Fabul 3 times. You can cut that number down, saves you time in the long run.
Certainly seems like that was on Rex's mind. He did not even think about Fabul once he did Zot and Baron and had the hook, went right for it. And both runners just got the magma key here, so it's nice to increment your key item count, but no progress.
Also saw sirens. Also, that is a sparkle that could take out another boss out of our top of tower pool, depending on what is here. Okay, that's not terrible.
No, it is doable with this party at these levels, given maybe a little bit more setup. And I guess we now know it's...
I was going to ask, I don't know if Rex saved. He did not even spy the sparkle. He is just leaving. So, okay.
McBain has a slight knowledge lead in terms of knowledge of some lunar bosses. He now knows it's either D-Lunars, Wyvern, or Pale Dim up at the top of the tower. He knows Plague's at the Leviathan spot, and we saw Leviathan at the Asura spot.
Yep, absolutely. So, also sirens for sale in the merch. Looked like both runners picked up a stack of those. Silk webs as well. Always a wonderful item to have a couple of. So, but now we gotta go say to our favorite lazy punch mage and then go rat him out to his wife. Isn't that such a great mechanic in the game? We gotta go be a tattletale.
You don't think you're rescuing? It's not a romantic gesture of reunification.
Yeah. I mean, although, personally, if it was me, I'd be like, Sheila, you need to come with me. I'll take you on the airship. We'll come down, and you can hit your husband in the head with a pan. And you could just give me the prize while we're down there. Save me a trip back up and have it bring you back the pan and all that jazz. So,
yeah, as the great Steely Dan once sang, I refuse to do your dirty work.
Yeah.
It's just amazing how close these runners are on each other's heels, step for step, following each other's paths. As soon as Rex completes Fabul, they're basically be at a dead heat.
I guess the nice part about all this flying around and everything is we actually get to give our tracker a break. So both Nyabari doing the hard work and Tavon pushing buttons. Tavon gets to take a little break here and just kick back, relax, and obviously make sure you go follow those two. Also follow the other guy, that Microcourse. I hear he's pretty all right. I hear he does
tell me
things.
more about how already is. I'd like to hear more.
I hear he's got a pretty nice spiel when it comes to Ed and music. I hear it's a production. I hear it's actually pretty fantastic.
Yeah, he's a big show off.
Yeah.
Also give Martin a follow. Martin is a really fun streamer of this game in particular, and you'll learn a lot too.
Maybe some things you might not want to know, but that's also true.
Can knowledge be dangerous? Maybe.
Yeah, always. So it looks like just a package coming out of
quick reset for McBain.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame you. You're not looking for a boss. You're not looking for a character. Just The one thing chat brings up though, key item count. That's kind of an interesting thing. I mean, we're at 7. 10 obviously gets double experience. It's something that if you find the pan, you could always go grab later.
Yep. And it's there. So if you find yourself at 9, you know where your 10th is.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm not against resetting out of it just because you can't exit out of Fabul and it's a walk and you have to fly back down. And if you leave a save down there, it saves a bit of time. So I'm okay with it.
Rex, I believe, will be walking out with it because he made the check, got his spoon. He'll be getting his package. And McBain, actually, we have Bacchus wine for sale. Bought a stack of 9 Bacchus wine from the dwarf shop. That's good to have on hand. Saves your white mages a turn.
Yep. And we have a wall pretending to be a door, but it's really a wall in front of us.
And no matter if it's a door or a wall, you can just walk right around it. That was clear, wasn't it?
I feel like based on what I just saw on screen, that should be the case, but it isn't. So.
McBain's intrepid adventurers will take the fight. And we got Spoonward doing close to 1,400 damage a swing, but then promptly going down, fulfilling the glass cannon prophecy.
Poor Ed.
That's Spoonward in a nutshell. If you don't have an admin armor, that is what he does.
I'm telling you, sometimes a board face AI, it just understands where the problem is coming from and then just immediately nukes the problem. Well,
Rex about to make the package check. Will we see someone powerful such as Fu? We do indeed.
Spoken into existence. This is interesting. Wow. And he's letting the animation play, so we're going after the character.
And looks like Edge is casting flame and burning down the village.
Yeah. So that lends weight to an idea. We'll see how the idea plays out. Having a Fu in your party obviously enables, a strat that's affectionately called Fu and Friends. You do have access to sirens.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering if Rex is taking this on the premise that, hey, I'm going to hit go mode here shortly. I'm not going to have time for a grind. I just need to get there and beat the fight. So, I mean, there's ways with Fu in your party to, short the whole level scheme and everything and just finish a fight with, Fu by himself, reflected nukes, and take care of that. So I'm curious if that's what's going through his head right now, or if it's just, hey, this is a welcome upgrade from the Quack Kid, so thanks, goodbye.
Either way, I don't think I could fault him. I mean, a play like this could, as close as this race has been, could turn things.
Mm-hmm.
We still, I mean, the odds are low, but I believe there still is a D-Mist out there, and if that D-Mist happens to be hiding behind the spot, leading to something needed, then the seed's essentially over.
The odds of that, I'll bite my tongue. I'm not going to speak that one into existence. So.
Sure.
Nope.
We're about to find out. It's not.
Now,
we just have to say goodnight.
Yep. Put Fu to bed and take care of your old man, and there's the saying involved in there. The good part about this, at least for Rex, that the Gauntlet and Golbez are out of the pool, so whatever's here is going to be a very short fight. So that's a good problem to have.
Well, it's not a D-Mist.
Sadly, no. I mean, at least he get a Fu for it. So, hey.
And while that was happening, McBain got himself an Artemis bow from the Dwarf Castle check.
I mean, if you're not going to have Rosan healing duty, I hear it works great. Also works great on Cecil, believe it or not.
Yeah, given that we haven't seen anything better than a defense sword, it's a good option.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm pretty sure Rex has Artemis arrows. Does McBain as well?
With the amount of time I saw him scrolling through his inventory, I don't know.
Because I definitely don't remember where the arty arrows were picked up from. I don't think they were a reward, were they?
I don't think so. I think they were. They might have been part of the Earth Crystal Treasury. I cannot remember.
I think you're right. I think that might be it.
All right. Well, Rex has this food. Oh, hi. Well, that's welcome. Hey, I'm in Kaipo. I'll just check a shop while I'm here. Hey,
take a
I
stab.
have cursed rings for sale. Would you like one? Why, yes, I would.
Rex could have afforded 3 if he wanted them, but of course 1 is plenty.
1 is plenty. That does lead to some interesting things. One of the great things about Fu makes a wonderful anchor, especially if you have a curse ring for him. Obviously, we have Sid in the party, so that's not a huge issue now. Sid probably will not even need to be on the ground anymore because of that cursed ring. But
nope, he can be a.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No. You were wrapping up a good point.
Yeah. No, but this lends weight to the idea that you can shift Fu to an anchor position.
Mm-hmm.
You have a cursed ring, you have a Stardust Rod. That balances out basically the stat penalty for the cursed ring, but it still drops Fu's agility down to 5, which is going to make everybody else insanely fast. So now you have the option of, hey, Sid goes away, somebody else can come along in your party. But let's get back to the important stuff. I'll let you talk about McBain and what he just spotted.
Well, I'll steal a line from Dissatisfied in chat. We have a free pass. We have our Z access. The pass was the item from the Luca Cave. Check, and the boss is basically our freest boss in this game, King and Queen Evelyn. They're just going to hit you with Fire 1 and Fire 2 spells. They don't even add up to be a Fire 3. You just sit there for a little bit as McBain has, and the fight's over. Get a decent little chunk of experience, but more importantly, Z access. So as soon as McBain gets the key items needed, he can grind and go. And we know Rex, unfortunately, is not going to gain any progress by repeating the dwarf check.
No, unfortunately not. But, I mean, with the Luca key, this will be on Rex's mind. This will be one of those, do I go spy this? A lot of people like doing Luca because it isn't, you can spy the item. And you're not on a boss hunt right now, so literally it's walk down. If it's something I want, cool, I can walk it out. If not, you reset and you lose the time you just walk down there.
Yep, just about a minute. It's not too bad.
Yeah, no, so that'll definitely play into his mind of, what check do I do next? Do I go from Dwarf? Do I go up the tower and do Keyless Tower? Do I go play in the March? Do I do Luca, which is literally right next door to where I am? So I'll be curious to see what Rex decides to do after this.
Could it be Val time?
Could be. Obviously, McBain's got plans. We're looking for. Honestly, I don't care about the Darkness Crystal right now. I don't. Give me the Harp or give me both halves of the Forge. Like, just let it be on Earth.
I'd like to welcome in Dusty Griff and his raiding party. Speaking of brackets, Dusty is currently firmly established as a brackets runner. So if whoever wins this might have the honor of facing off against Dusty in a future round, but they have to get through their opponent here tonight first.
Wait, are we calling that an honor? I face Dusty. I have other words for it.
Wait, did I say honor or horror? I knew it was an H word of some sort.
I don't know. Buzzsaw, a few other words come to mind. But
I heard he took a long break. Is he still good?
I'll tell you what. If there was rust there, I didn't see it. Not for a second.
You helped de-rust him. Come on.
I do what I can. So, and it looks like on McBain's side, we're doing the March. So, I like it. I have no problem with it. A lot of people don't like Keyless Tower because of the whole keyless part of it, and you hate going up just for one item.
Yep, and both of these fights are well within the capability of the team. Artie Bow, Artie Arrows are gonna do wonders against this plague.
But why is he going out 1 HP? Why didn't he heal up?
Well, it just so happens that Plague has no interest in doing any physical damage to you or any magical damage, really. All Plague wants to do is count. And when the count gets to 0, you die, but we have ways of either making that count never fully get past the 0, or you can choose to kill one of your own characters and revive them to reset the count. So with this team, with the damage, and with McBain's knowledge of how this fight works, he's going to have no problem getting through this without taking a single point of damage.
No, not at all. And you're seeing one of the easier methods of going after Plague. The idea is if you put enough actions in the queue to where the count can't resolve, you might see this go to 0 and sit on 0 for quite a while, wondering, well, why aren't people dying? Well, the AI can't exactly get a turn. If you have everybody berserking and literally, perfect inputting your action as soon as it comes up. So,
yep. I remember when I first learned that technique, the first time I did it, every muscle in my body's clenching because everyone's at 0, and how's this even working? But as you're seeing, we're at 0. We're not going to be going below 0. There's nothing below 0.
It's a scary thing. You're sitting there watching it like, I'm at 0. Oh, God, people are going to start falling. Like, I'm just waiting for someone to just one falls and then the next, and then all 5 are dead, and you have to reset and do the fight over.
There are spots where if your agility's not set up right, that does indeed happen.
Yes. It does. So that's more of those agility shenanigans that, everybody always talks about and very few can explain very well. Oh. Well, I
McBain
guess you
would be
can...
back.
Sure, have the other way of the moon. Why not?
Yeah, back-to-back moon access checks.
Okay. Okay. So, all right. McBain is leaving. Do you agree or disagree with this, considering what's sitting on the right?
I probably would have been tempted to take that Leviathan. We talked about Star Veils earlier. That's a great spot to use some Star Veils, especially considering McBain, I believe, does have that big stack of Bacchus wines. You can apply a Star Veil first and then Bacchus up a fighter. And that's a high magic attack spot, but when you can reflect Leviathan's Ice 2s back at him, it makes it not too tricky. So probably a little bit of a risk. That item might not be anything we need, and that would work out pretty well for McBain.
Yeah. Leviathan in that spot, I mean, it's not terrible per se. I mean, the waves do a flat 25% of your, max HP damage. We know that. It is a high magic spot, though. So those Ice 2s are going to hurt, like you said, without having a Star Veil. Those are going to sting a bit. So you do need kind of a way to slow those down. But I don't know. I mean, leaving a character or leaving a boss there, but you have a ton on the moon. So I'm not against it, especially when you're looking for 1 or 2 key items.
And there is something to the calculations of the key item distribution. Those Fey March spots are summon spots. The Sylph check is a summon spot. So there's a certain distribution that some runners will say, well, if I got a key item from this, perhaps the odds are the next one won't be. And it looks like McBain is going along with that thought.
Mm-hmm. And it's fair. I mean, with this party composition and everything, and this is something they'll run through runners' minds as well. Is okay, what bosses have I seen? What's left? What could possibly be on the moon, and what's going to cause me a problem? So you've seen some of the worst in some of the moon bosses that have been offered, but you've also seen some of the freebies out of the pool too. Dimps, King and Queen Evelyn, Baron Guards. So, I mean, there's still a couple out there.
Water Hag we saw?
Yeah, we saw Water Hag, so that one's out as well. There's still some freebies up there, but there are some really not pleasant ones either, so...
But we have the 2 important factors. That is 1 key item left to go for go mode, and one win away from making brackets versus 1 loss away from being knocked out of the tournament. So I think McBain, I would guess maybe diving directly for the dense checks at the bottom, but we have seen the top-down play be pretty popular as well.
Yeah, it's. I feel like if they had half of the Forge, if you're specifically looking for just 1 piece to make it all work, I could say top down wouldn't be bad. But I mean, hey, Adamant and Legend Sword could both be behind Lunars. I mean, it's a thing. We've seen it happen. So.
And we have the pass, and that often encourages the bottom up approach.
Yeah. And of course, proving us wrong, though. Thanks, McBain. Obviously, we know absolutely nothing about what we're talking about because, hey, look at this.
Let's see how right McBain is with this top down. First of all, this is a little bit of a tricky boss here.
Yeah. Unfortunately, at least in my personal experience, Antlion tends to hang out more on a certain ledge. Likes a view. Tired of being in the cave all the time. We see him on the moon quite a bit, but I feel like that Wyvern spot, it's got a better viewpoint. So that's usually where we see Antlion at.
The Bard is drinking wine, though, to combat the Antlion. Cecil is not taking much damage at all in the back row, so cover strats will work out, but we will have to deal with some potential counters here. Let's see what they do. That's a chunk.
There's a little business involved there. So yeah, you'll see probably a blink come up on Cecil, probably keep him healed up, and we'll just let Ed do Ed things. And hey, look at this. Rex is gonna take a run at Val.
We're gonna be getting some very important information pretty soon here, I believe, from both runners.
I've seen Baron Basement burn people more times than I'd like to admit.
And unfortunately, Rex not topping off Fu's MP. Not that we're going to be nuking this Val, but it would be nice to have the utility spells from Fu for this fight.
Yeah, some cure options available, something, just anything at this point.
And pretty difficult fight here already for Rex. That Val just knocked out the front row Cecil.
Yeah. The speed of this spot cannot be understated. And you were seeing it firsthand just how fast Val can move. So.
And less than 1,000 damage with that first swing from that Cecil. So it's going to be a tricky fight. Not impossible, but is it going to be worth the time is what Rex has to decide.
Looks like Rex is I so affectionately call staying at the Motel 6. $50 a night every night. Good
It's
way
really
restored.
reasonable.
Yeah, you don't have a cabin or whatever. It's a.
I mean, you don't get your own room, but it's comfortable. Sheets are clean.
Yeah, sheets are clean. So, and who knows, in brackets? I mean, brackets, when you're working with, somewhat of a finite amount of money, I mean, $50 is $50. It beats spending 1,000 on a cabin, so it could be a thing.
These are two punchy fights that our runners have chosen to undertake. McBain doing a good job, but definitely having to work to keep his party upright. Antlines hitting hard. Those counters are doing 300 to 400 damage. But the Quakes are coming out. And McBain is through.
There you go. Now the question is the reward. I mean, okay.
Let me stop you right there.
It's useful, and I see what you did there. But okay, fine, I'll allow it.
Yeah, not what McBain was open for.
No, I keep it for the experience because, hey, it's experience. Even though I have sirens, but
yeah.
All right, sure, I'm good with it. But yeah, down we go the LST.
I think right now Rex would really need a harp here for him to kind of climb back in, unless of course the keyless towers is hiding one of the items that we need. But McBain could easily run into a needed key item with his next check.
Absolutely. And it looks like on Rex's side, Rex has got kind of a firm control on this one now. It's amazing the power of, if you can get two characters berserked with a solid anchor, it slows down a fight so much and becomes so much more manageable. It's just you have to get through that initial wave of, oh, hi, let me just, murder your entire party.
Super valuable motel stick, say, to get both blink casters up and running. Because like you said, with that time gain now the front row Cecils, they're hitting for, looks like 2 to 2,500 around. And it won't be too long now to get through this fight.
No, not at all. And taking out your anchor, not exactly necessary when you have a curse ring, but you know what? It's a mindset. You can't bank on a curse ring in every run, so making sure your anchor stays down and your agility is low, it's a good practice to get into.
McBain heading right for that ribbon room, gives you 2 chances at key items, but it's behind the boss with 42,000 hit points, and tonight that boss, well, those hit points are divided.
Well, hi. We see a quick little arrow switch. Hey, I have mute arrows. Fantastic. You're going to see some very large numbers come out of Rosa here shortly.
McBain's team passing the wineskin around. Eddie had it last time. Rosa has it this time. We'll see if Eddie gets another drink.
Oh, and that white shirt rears its head one more time.
That's always it's always rough to get a bad result from a kind of a tricky Odin fight. And unfortunately, Rex got a duplicate white shirt, not needed, reset out of. And are we going to about to see a tower play or a Fey March play?
Looks by where he's going. Looks like we're going to the tower. So we'll get possibly a first look at what the boss is up here. Putting a save down here at the bottom, very smart play. This will come down to beating the boss. If it's not an item you want, you reset, you save the walk down because you can't exit out of the tower.
I don't have my stopwatch running, but we've had 3 objectives now for, I guess, since about the 50-minute mark. So it's been a good 25 to 30 minutes since we've seen an objective. Both runners stayed close initially coming out of that hook route, but have since diverged pretty heavily. We got our Odin check. We're about to get our top of tower check, and now we're getting our second moon check from McBain. So I think we're gonna. I wouldn't be surprised if we're gonna have a go mode from one of these runners pretty soon.
Yeah, I mean, we're flat out running out of spots to do, so there's
Yep.
not a lot left. I mean, not to say that, you know, things couldn't be gated behind other things and other things. You know, you could have a cheeky pan into Tower Key, into Rat Tail, into Harp. I mean,
Yeah.
we've seen weirder things, but
And
also, I really hope I didn't just speak that one into existence, because that'd be awkward.
well, at least you didn't throw D-Mist into that, because D-Mist is still out there.
That is true. So let's see what McBain gets here. Well, one of those we love to see. What's the operative phrase for that?
Good sword.
Oh, I was gonna say Cecil go burr, but yes,
Okay.
yes, that
Okay.
that. Oh, hi. Speaking of, hi. Yep, that's a blurred.
We do have Artie if we can get a recovery in here.
Mm-hmm. So, thing about this spot, it's not a lot of magic power up here. So,
Yeah.
who actually runs the possibility here of surviving this next reflected nuke?
I think he does.
The question is, does he get his off in time
That's-
before a
that
second
is-
one fires?
yep.
And
And it
the
looks like
answer
no.
is sadly no. That's a little bit dangerous. It's as you saw, you know, with the mega nuke and Cecil surviving. It's like, oh, okay, this spot isn't so bad. Wyvern is still fast. Once you see that wall go up, you are on a timer, and it's very
Yep.
difficult to get your party at least standing enough for enough targets for that nuke to hit.
Some timers go tick, tick, tick. This one goes nuke, nuke, nuke.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And on McBain's side, well, that makes other sounds. Yeah, so yeah, as Denari in chat so affectionately points out, something like doot, 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 doot. You know, yeah, that sound.
That one at least displays its timer to you right in your face.
Yes, exactly, and repeatedly, as you can tell.
Looks like the timer's going backwards though. So we've had Rexbanner adjusted his battle speed, which is often what you need to do. We sometimes call it Wyvern standard time to reflect the fact that, well, you need time to get your reflex up to beat off that initial mega nuke and then set your party up for success afterwards. Will one of these lunar bosses lead to a key item, either the lunar boss on the moon or the lunar boss at the top of the tower? We're about to find out from McBain's side. The Pale Dim fight is over at the White Spear altar. If we see a harp, we're going to see an immediate exit. If we see anything else, we're going to see repeated looks, and we have a pan.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
I mean, it would be a super
Okay.
bold play to leave.
You know, I look at the key items, I look what's left, and it's like, do I dump a save here and just leave? And the answer to McBain is yes.
And we have a vanilla tower key from Wyvern, so Rex immediately gets
Okay.
a second check.
All right, so that's one less item in the pool for McBain. So this pan could turn out to be something very interesting. So we know one of them is the package. We've already spied that and reset out of it. Bonking Yang gets you one, and Sheila 2 is the other. Either one of these is the harp, and this is going to look huge brain play on McBain.
Yep, because even if this super cannon leads to one half of the forge, it's not enough yet for Rex. And if we see another piece of the forge, even if the harp doesn't come out of this pan, but we see a piece of the forge, then we know that we're going to need to do that check.
Looks like the lower Babbo was populated by dragons today, because there's the other one. And there goes the other one.
Yeah, they both do Mega Nuke, but we only got to see one of them actually get to perform their magic trick, and that's because this spot is among the easiest in the game. It's slow, it does not have a lot of hit points. You can basically do almost any action to it, and you're free.
Mm-hmm. Obviously, the bad part, you have to walk down the entire tower to get your prize for it. But, you know, hopefully it's something useful. Okay, so that is the Sand Ruby for McBain.
I don't think we've seen that character in the bed. I'm not sure how much it matters, unless it happens to be another Foo.
Right. So the big one we're all waiting on is Sheila 2. That's going to determine whether this is a great payoff or not.
Once again, these runners giving us a treat. Different checks about to come in within a few seconds of each other. Sheila 2 and the Super Cannon Room check are going to be on your screens almost simultaneously.
Mm-hmm.
And one of these runners might be about to do a metaphorical triple backflip in celebration. Let's find out. Simultaneous?
Almost. That's a rat tail.
And that's Artemis arrows.
Nothing.
Looks like McBain's going to be hanging out on the blue planet a little bit longer.
Yeah. It's a check that, you know what, I exited with the pan. I'm following it to its conclusion. I don't care how long the chain is. I'm following it. Unfortunately, it does require trading out airships, though, but that's okay.
If this rat tail is a dead end, that's not an item. Do you expect to see an immediate reset back to that moon save?
You know, the interesting anomaly with that is you are now at 12 key items because of this. So your XP that you may not need, that's going to depend on McBain. I don't know.
Could lead you back up to do a little grind in Bahamut and then check that. But let's see what rat.
Well, that's half. That's a rock.
So McBain now literally one key item away from go mode in two different directions. Harp or Legend Sword gets McBain that crystal, allows him access to damage Z, and he's got the pass, so he has a quick access to get to that final boss. We'll see where he goes next. Looks like he's going to be chasing in his own second white shirt from the Val fight.
Yep, I mean, you're down here. The animation time it takes for the whale and everything, this makes sense. You're right there, so
we're committed to this branch.
So Rex will hopefully be in for a nice little surprise here with Plague, and obviously we'll understand how to get through this fight. So the big question on Rex's side is going to be, what do we do about that Leviathan sitting to the right of us? You have darkness in your hand. You're in that same boat that McBain was a little while ago. Do you fade it? Or because it's literally your last check on Earth, do you do it?
I think Rex does it. He's a little stronger than McBain was at the time. He has a Foo that McBain didn't have. I would be super surprised if Rex ditches Leviathan, but could understand if he does for those reasons you mentioned.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we always talk about, you know, item density and, you know, all these things, but yeah, a lot of us, and I speak for myself as well, you know, you leave that one check somewhere and it burns you once, and that's always in the back of your mind, like, I don't want to let this one beat me. So I could see it go either way.
I'm wondering, when McBain finds the whammy at the end of Val, does he immediately go back to Moon, or does, like you said, in the back of his mind, is he saying, well, there's that Leviathan I left. There is that top of tower.
Yeah, it's an interesting question.
We know tower is a big mega nuke of a dead end, essentially, though.
Sadly, yeah. Even though it does reward you with the tower key up top, it just, yeah.
Are we taking a step to the right, or are we taking a step into our magic menu and exiting out? Here comes the decision for Rex.
I think we're gonna probably save first. Maybe, possibly. Nope, we're going on the moon. We are gone.
Both runners choosing not to take on Leviathan after getting tempted by the darkness crystal.
Now, see, so we're great at speaking things into existence. Another thing that has been a thing that we've seen a lot of, both in tournament racing and just kind of the casual racing. I like to call the filthy double, and what that entails is usually the twin harp leading into another objective. So, having that legend sword buried behind the twin harp wherever it may be in the world, I wouldn't put it past the game. Not for a second.
I'm going the other way. I'm pretty sure either legend or harp is behind that Leviathan. We'll see which one of our predictions comes up true. And Rex has a choice to make now that he goes to the moon. We might see a quick Cave Bahamut check, as McBain looks like he's going to clean up the checks he left on the underworld. So again, our runners kind of ping-ponging a little bit, divergence possible, and it has been happening, but some of these checks are now getting repeated.
Rex doing a quick check here on the shop. Probably looking to replace the Star Veils that he used. I don't disagree. I mean, the good part is if you think about the bosses you faced so far this run, you don't really have an issue with Star Veils anymore. All those bosses are more or less gone, so.
Yep. Yeah, we saw both of our Mega Nukers. We saw Golbez. That's about it.
Yeah.
McBain, fortunately, taking the save at the top of the tower in the good chance that Wyvern takes him out. Though McBain does have more knowledge about who this is. Does McBain actually knows this is either Wyvern or D-Lunars at this point? We'll see if he does a preemptive battle speed drop. He does not. Unless he did it earlier and I missed it.
Not that I saw in the item menu. So I think we're still running at whatever, probably BS1, I would say.
We'll see if McBain has a way through at that speed.
I'm really wondering if Rex here is specifically looking for Star Veils. I wonder if he's actually thinking about taking a shot at that Leviathan, but doesn't think Fu with Wall is enough. And the fact he's buying 10 Star Veils, maybe.
Yeah, it's quite a trip if that's the case, but obviously if it pays off, well worth it.
Let's see.
We're going south.
Okay, nope, we're hanging a right. All right. Want Star Veils for the moon just in case.
So since Rex is going to the moon quite a bit later, I wonder if he will be prompted to kind of do the top down, including Bahamut first, which would be great for us to give us that knowledge and could potentially be really great for Rex. There it is.
Yeah, looks like that's where he's headed.
McBain now living in the happy space between getting the tower key and realizing it leads to nothing, but probably right now satisfied that it is a check that is paying off, at least in the short term.
Yeah, and on McBain's side, seeing that item tracker just filling up and still not having go mode yet, that's it. It wears on you. It does wear on you as runners. So they're like, really? I'm 14 out of 17 right now, and I still can't go finish the game. Are you kidding me right now?
Yeah. Yeah, everyone take a look at that tracker. Every single item except for the 3 he needs.
Yeah.
Rex taking advantage of the fact that you can summon the King Ryu, the double King Ryu fight with a Siren in Cave Bahamut. Gonna do, I would suspect probably 1. I would be surprised, maybe 2. I would be surprised at any more than that.
Yeah. There's just a little quick infusion of experience here. Obviously, having 10 key items, this will be doubled with a life glitch. You're looking at 180,000 experience. Get your
That
Cecils
seems
in
like
the
a
mid
big number.
40s. Yeah,
Yep.
it's a good chunk, and you've got a weak caster to basically turn the fight into almost nothing. So, Cecil's in the mid high 40s, and after that, yeah, you just go off and running. Obviously, the one bit of knowledge we have is that there's a crystal sword sitting up at the lunar spot.
Yeah. Yep, Rex has the Fu advantage, McBain has the Crystal Sword advantage, and Niabari posing our restreamer and the one who rolled this excellent seed, posing a great question. Who's happy they aren't running the seed for their tournament life? So do not forget what is at stake here. Both runners at 3 and 2. The win, they move on. The loss, their tournament is over. Both runners are very good. And we know that is D Lunars sitting at the Bahamut spot.
Yes, we do. So this can go a couple different ways. Obviously, this is a very punchy spot here. Artemis arrows are going to do a ton of work here, except with one minor side effect, which I'm curious to see where we go with this.
So, with your logic that you explained before from the King Queen Evelyn spot, we can it kind of applies here as well. This is a very high physical damage spot, but the virus counters I don't think would do very much here.
No, they're not terrible at all. Obviously, the way this works is this fight, if you attack them with any physical attack whatsoever, they throw walls up and then start bouncing viruses against you. So that may lead to why Rex is not going like Artemis Bow, Artemis Arrow berserk, because they still are dragons, even though they're undead. So that will do a ridiculous amount of damage. But you're gonna go ahead.
Just Fu. The advantage of Fu is doing great work with the nuke, and the Cure 4 not being applied to the party, but being applied to our undead D Lunars. We're getting pretty close though with these with these flame counters coming out, and our party getting low on hit points. Rex is going to have to kind of get a little healing up, I think, to survive this fight.
Yeah. The issue with fire counters is, I believe, is 20% of your max HP every time it fires, and when you only have one left, they kind of get in a mode where, like, literally all they want to do is just keep firing you, and it hurts a lot. So, but we do see the breath come out.
And we have one Star Veil up. Nice aim by that breath. So this fight is now effectively over. Just a few more hits or magic spells, and we will get our answer. And once again, McBain's going to give us a corresponding answer when he gets through Leviathan. Probably pretty similar time. Big check here for both runners.
I say, so we knew the march wasn't haunted because of the darkness crystal. What else does it have? I was wrong. I don't know how you go from a darkness crystal to an apple. I
Turns out that immediate exit happened to be the right play. Of course, our runners don't know that till they check. And here's the big pull from Bahamut. Also,
nothing. Our options are becoming limited.
So, are we going to find Demas at the Crystal Sword altar or the Masamune altar?
There's one play that nobody's talking about. Well, actually, people have talked about. We're just trying to avoid it for right now. It's slowly becoming a reality. And it's becoming a little bit terrifying.
It's that's a tough call to make because, even without Demas being on the moon, we still do have 2 checks left on the moon. Right. I mean, Rex has a bunch, but McBain only has 2 left plus Bahamut, so he's about to go score his own Crystal Gauntlet.
Yep.
And Rex is gonna dive.
Yep. I think for McBain, this fight goes completely differently because of that Crystal Sword.
Yeah.
I'm going to say with the spell power of this bot, you see that Cecil become berserked, and you sit back and watch the fireworks.
Yep, so it's like a mid-30s hit point spot, so 2 swings each with the Crystal Sword and the fight's over.
Yep, you got it.
Seeing our second look at Moontella. I think Moontella gets to stay on the moon.
I don't see trading him out. So tell us an interesting character just because of the sheer utility that Tella has. Early game, I'm not objecting to switching anchors for Tella because that gives you another access to Blink, Berserk, Stone, Weak, all, kind of all the useful spells. This late in the game though, I'm not worried. Leave the party as is and just go.
Cecil took a manual swing, hit quad 9s on it first dragon. Here come the viruses. They're not nothing, but they're not instant kills.
Yeah, they're manageable.
Actually, I probably would have guessed lower, and I would have been wrong. But looks like first one hit for hitting for mid 700s. As long as you can get as long as he doesn't get hit, 3 times in a row, he'll be fine.
Mm-hmm. Yep, there goes the Berserk on Cecil, and here come the fireworks. I'm actually
Eddie,
surprised.
of course.
I'm surprised Ed
Shakes it
survived
off.
that. Can we talk about that really quick? Because wow, Ed.
Ed's a warrior. It's in his blood. It's in his DNA. Can't escape it.
I would say, can we get back to where we say hopefully the fight finishes fast enough that Ed doesn't get HP ran out. I mean, that could be. Boo!
We talk about
Healing.
timers
Boo.
ticking.
Boo!
Yeah,
It's
okay.
terrible.
Let's see if McBain keeps the experience. Got a couple levels, or will he be so upset with the crystal gauntlets that we get a reset?
Yeah, I talked about this last night. I was talking with a few people, and the amount of time it takes for the fanfare versus going into a menu, casting exit versus the reload, it's so nominal. And I mean, XP is XP at this point. Anything that makes my Cecils go burr even harder, I just keep it and I exit out. Like, okay.
Yep. It's a quick exit. You don't have to walk out that dungeon.
Yeah. And I'm on 10 key items too, so it's double normal. Yeah, I'll live with it. So it looks like Rex is adopting the Mute Arrow Artemis Bow Berserk Rosa strat. It's very effective.
Super effective. McBain now is an interesting choice. It's, we runners often either full clear the moon or kind of do a portion here or there, but he's kind of left 2 checks that are kind of not right next to each other. Would you suspect he's going to go right for that crystal sword altar or all the way down?
I mean, I'm thinking routing here and what's the quickest. I would say probably go all the way down and do Ogopogo first. Put the save there and reset, walk back up to it, because it's not that much of it versus walking back down from the Wyvern save point and having walk all the way down to Ogo from there. I'd say Ogo is first.
Yeah, I don't think it's a huge difference, but I think you are right. It also just feels bad if you go crystal and then you do have to make that walk.
Yeah.
Well, Rex's fight ends with a nearly 8k arrow strike from Cecil, and Cecil's gonna get a little bit of an upgrade for his weaponry, and a nice hat.
Yep, there was much rejoicing. Yay! Yep, that Cecil's definitely gonna go burr now. So. All right, here we go. Do they both go to... Nope. I'll say now if you're turning up right there, you're not, Rex.
Yeah.
Yep, looks like Plague is first. Or
Will
what
Rex
is Vanilla Plague, but is obviously something else. All right.
I think at this point, I don't think Rex gets baited by the pan just because we're so deep into the seed, but you never know.
It could happen.
It could happen.
Well, so could that.
We found her.
That we did. So, boy, can I speak from experience on this fight.
Tell us about it.
Well, holy weapons don't exactly do a ton of damage against good old D-Dot Mist here. So you'll notice that Ed is doing way more than Cecil here. The nice part about this is it's 3 strikes and you go Misty. So you've got time to get blinks up on characters, etc., so forth, before you get swinging. This is a high attack spot, so this can hurt.
Looks like McBain, though, didn't take advantage of the pause. Kind of waited with the Crystal Sword, Cecil. So getting his damage in. Basically the play of going for Bull first, having knowledge of the spoon, giving that little extra damage with Eddie that Rex is not going to have, and now Rex does have that decision to make. Looks like, though, Rex is staying on the moon.
Now, in this case for McBain, though, does McBain leave after this? No. No.
I think that'd be a really hard call to make.
You don't leave the Wyvern not done.
Yeah.
There is no way you leave the Wyvern not done here.
McBain might be thinking, I wish I had done that one more check and then left with the pan and the demist, but not the way it went, so McBain's got to play this one out, and Rex he's probably going to follow him into this fight a minute later.
Yep.
Rex will have the nuke advantage here.
Yeah, that will definitely help matter slightly. Also, things you don't want to do in this fight. I hear casting Berserk on your party members in this fight is a terrible idea, unless you have a way of shutting it down. I hear bad things occur because of that.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, Berserk should just slice and dice Mist up really well, but it turns out it doesn't. If you Berserk against Demist and Mist form, it's just going to shoot Cold Mist at you, and it's not really going to hurt you too bad, but it is going to take up a lot of time. So like you said, having a way to turn off Berserk, there's a few different options. There's an item called a Unihorn, which will turn off Berserk. A Silver Staff used can turn off Berserk, or sometimes Rex does have coffins in his inventory. Both runners probably do. And you could temporarily take your Berserked character out of circulation for a time.
Yeah. Yeah, because no, if you leave it running, well, let's just say the amount of counters you eat while it's in Mist form, it's a number. It's a very large number, and they take a lot of time. So yeah, don't do that.
Let's see if the Masamune altar immediately pays off, or if the answer is behind Mist or McBain.
Oh, that's nice. Hey, now we have 2 Crystal Sword Cecils.
We do indeed. We do have this thing called the Avenger Glitch that we saw in action that Rex used during the hook route fight, where he took a defense sword out of Cecil's hands and put it in another one. This is kind of a more straightforward Avenger Glitch, and I expect we'll see that happen in the Z fight, where the Crystal Sword will get kind of passed down the line, hand-me-down fashion.
I mean, it's an effective strat, and the amount of damage you're going to be putting out with 2 Crystal Sword Cecils. This is one of those. Z is going to be in for a very bad day once we finally get there. So
here comes a nuke from Rex's Fu. What kind of damage are we getting? Close to 7k. I'm assuming we have either Sork Rope Stardust or Black Rope Stardust on that Fu.
Now, here's an interesting question. I'll pose this one to you. Rex has a pan. Does pan plus D dot Mist equal enough to run off the moon right now?
It certainly could be, because Rex did not go top down, did he? He did not take the Morisame spot.
Yeah.
So it's not like he has in the back of his head, there's just one more, I might as well do it. There's actually 2 more.
And this is 3 checks. So I don't know. If I'm Rex, I mean, you get back to Earth, you check D.Mist, and if that isn't it, you go straight to the pan.
Yep. So, I mean, best case for Rex is if he does that and Mist is a Twin Harp, because then, assuming, of course, that this isn't Legend that McBain's about to get, which obviously is a much quicker check than the Harp, and would put McBain firmly in the lead.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's
That's
a matured legend sword.
you know, when you sit there and you're like, oh, I have a crystal sword, and great, now I have an X-Scout, but I have an Avenger. So I
Yeah.
really have 2 crystal swords, okay?
Yep. And something to sell or dart, or more likely just keep in your inventory because there's no edge.
Yeah. Oh, wow, Rex is actually going to do Wyvern. Okay. All right, well, we know what's here.
Yep, and we know what McBain is about to get.
Yeah, and I'm thinking of we've seen everything.
Yep.
So
And we know one of our key items is terminal and one is not, and we must get the one that is not.
yeah. So oh no.
So I believe we have a
What are we doing here on McBain's side?
I am curious as well.
Uh-oh.
Did we miss it?
Uh-oh. McBain, turn around. Turn around. You don't have music yet. You didn't get music.
I wonder if he made that association that we just made, like we know that Demus is going to be hard.
It never went, and oh no.
If this is the case, we're about to see the Dark Elf say the 2 words to the team that you never want to see the Dark Elf say. And Rex has exited out before doing Morisame. This could be the swing of the match right here. Because as we're about to see,
That's music.
Rex is getting the Twin Harp. McBain is diving Cave Magnus without it, and unfortunately is going to be turned away by the Dark Elf.
You remember that filthy double I talked about earlier? About that whole Twin Harp into another one?
I didn't know it was going to be this filthy.
Thanks, game. Thanks, game. Appreciated.
Oh, my heart is breaking for McBain right now.
Oh, no.
That is the You Fools script. Yep, he's about to hit for mega damage.
And that is where we realized, please say we saved. Okay, all right. So we are, let me look at Rex's time here. Let's see where we're at. 149.05 into the cave. Yep.
What an incredible swing. The pressure of this match, do not underestimate it. McBain is an excellent runner, as is Rex, and you can see what this high level of competition can do as you're reaching what you know is the conclusion of a seed. Sometimes you jump ahead. All of us have been in this spot where we've gone to Z without the crystal because, oh, maybe we just picked up the legend sword, but we forgot to turn it in.
Can't say I've ever been there. Scan your inventory 3 times, like, I know I have a crystal. Where is, oh...
Maybe it's in someone's hand and I have to unequip
it. No, it doesn't work that way.
And, yep. In case anyone's wondering, and you might still think McBain has the advantage because he has the adamant, this is a 4 out of 5 objective. So the moment that Rex completes this, he will be in go mode. He has the pass, he has the levels, and he's going to be headed right to Z.
Yeah, this is literally a walk out of Chocobo Forest into Toroya, turn in the pass, and you were gone. It's going to be that fast. So it looks
what
like
was the number you had?
1 minute differential between the 2 of them right now. That's how close this is. So when we talk about every little action counts, it's going to count right now.
McBain could potentially make up some time. Rex did not get the immediate cutscene skip, so we'll see if that little bit about amount of time can be squeezed back.
Mm-hmm.
And it definitely is not over.
We get music.
I'm excited to talk about the action here, but I guess we're obliged to stop talking.
It's music. Shh.
Okay.
Shh.
think we've heard the loop is a great rendition of this song, but look at how this match is ending up here, Martin.
I
We're even on dolls, 2 apiece.
I was gonna say, is this gonna? No, this can't be. This can't be. PK's not here. This I'm not even thinking this one yet.
Right now, I'm looking at the hit point differences in the Cecils, the fact that there's a Foo on one side, but there's a Spoonward on the other side. Can you call this one?
No, I have 2 Crystal Sword Cecils. There's not calling this one. This is how fast can I go burr and who first. I'm spectating, right? I'm watching times. 152.58 on Rex's side. 7 seconds. We are at 7 seconds right now.
Yep, I'm pointing out that McBain did gain back some of that time with that cutscene a little quicker.
Yeah.
Here comes the exit from Rex, and quickly followed by the exit from McBain.
Oh my. And yes, as
Yeah.
chat points out, yes, welcome to 17 out of 17 land. That is every key item in the game, folks.
For McBain, yes, but if Rex ends up winning, it'll be due to the fact that he was able to skip a check or 2 here or there. And yep, this is shaping up to be a very close fight. And yep, given how restreams work and the timing of streams, this even if it appears that we have a clear winner, we may not know. So we're going to have to see if one runner defeats the other one by a wide margin here or not. But it doesn't look like that's going to happen.
No, this is going to be way too close to call right now. So we're supposed to. Of course, I feel like we're supposed to be asking a question right now, but I am so enamored in how this finish is going to.
I got a question.
Let's just
who the
get
heck's
the
going to win this?
theatrics, okay? There's 525 bosses. This is one of them. We don't talk about 526 because that's terrifying. Whose butt are we kicking right now? And who's going to win this? Who punches their ticket in the tournament right now?
Those Z's to me, those are just that's like a sizzling sound for how hot this finish is going to be.
It's a pleasure to be in the booth with you and Nayabari and Tavon in the background doing work, and this is I just sit back watching this.
Yeah, let's both not say anything until the finish, because that would just distract us from taking this in. This is going to be an amazing fight.
Yeah.
Let's see the transform difference in times. Let's see. Let's look for the Gerg.
I will spoil something very quick here, though. I saw Rex turn battle speed down to 3. So that is going to slow the fight for him just a little.
A little bit. $155.33.
As chat points out, McBain's on 2. So there will be a little bit of a difference.
And we're eventually going to see a Meteo, but right now we have a PDO.
It's terrifying.
I wouldn't want to mess with this guy.
No, I wouldn't either. Ooh, 7,000. That's a number.
We're basically 28 seconds apart for the transformation. And we have full hybrid in effect. Rosa is throwing whites close to 9K.
Now you notice the immediate difference. McBain bought silk webs. And Rex is casting slow.
That is true.
That's a little bit different. This is going to cut into Rex's lead slightly.
It's going to take 2 turns to get the same effect from that one silk web, though the first slow did do the nerfing job that the silk web on McBain's side did.
Mm-hmm. We see the adventure switch on McBain, switch to Crystal Sword, use a Bacchus. That prevents having to do a swing with the sword in order for the effect to engage.
Rex curing up after the first nerf Big Bang. We have a Bacchus going out on the Cecil over on one of the Cecils over on McBain's side, and yes, the damage is flying out on both sides. This is just, don't forget what's at stake. Incredible race, an incredible final fight, closing in on the 2-hour mark. I suspect both will finish under 2 hours at this point, but the question is who's going to finish first and by how much? I mean, there's a chance with these damage numbers, we might not even see rocks from one of these players.
That would not surprise me at all.
We might not even get the warning that it's about to end.
Can we also be excited that Ed is literally going to be alive at the end of this?
It sure looks that way. He's pumping up his 2 to 3k damage. We see a shake from the Pediomus on Rexbanner's side.
I was going to say, I see a shake and I think like, oh, no, that's the finish. No, it's just a shake. Nope, not yet. Not yet.
It's going to be quick, not that quick.
Yep. We got a shake on McBain's side.
That's how close it is.
I'm waiting. There's rocks. Oh,
There's
my
rocks.
God.
It looks like Rex is going to finish this first on stream, and then we have to wait to see if this can be an official result.
There's rocks on McBain's side.
Seconds apart, rocks. Big swing from that Cecil. 7k.
That's a fade. That's a flat. Oh my. What in? Are you seeing these times?
Send out those GGs.
Hi everybody, this is your
Flood the
restreamer.
channel with your GGs for both of these amazing runners.
Did we just have a tie?
Hi everybody, this is
Hey,
Neobari.
hi Neobari, how are you?
Letting you guys know that we are still doing a review. However, if the current stands, it is within 3 seconds. It's a 2.8 second difference. So if it stands, this will be a tie, and it would mean that both runners would be advancing to brackets.
Oh my heart, the suspense.
Hi. Hi, everybody.
Newspaper, run! Everybody run! Ah!
So, hi. So I'm the one who's going to be double checking all of this. I've already been kind of like informed and everything, but looked like a tie to me. But we're making sure.
Okay.
So, but I'll let y'all talk to the runners because that was an absolutely fantastic race, and I bet y'all have lots of questions. But I'll be back probably in just a few minutes.
All right.
With the results.
We look forward
Thank
to
you,
hearing
Scala.
from you, Scala.
So both of our runners have joined us in the channel. I wonder, can you guys start off with a internet high five, because that was amazing by both of you. GG Rex,
Wow.
GG McBain.
Howdy, folks, and that's amazing. I can't believe that.
You two doing this to us. This is all your fault. How do you
I'm
put us through a
proud to do it
tie
to
for your
you.
tournament life, and you put us through a tie, or what might possibly be a tie? You guys, you guys are an amazing race by both of you. It was so back and forth, seeing both of you hook route within a minute of each other, and the divergence that somehow came back together, and all these checks, and both myself and Korgs were watching you, and you're literally bouncing off each other as you're doing all these, and somehow it converged to this.
Yep.
Rex, let's start with you. Your thoughts when you're sitting there on the moon and you see what's sitting at Ogopogo.
I'm like, oh no, like not where I wanted to see that, but I knew it had to be done with the checks, so I'm like, okay, we're gonna just do this. Hopefully, once I got the pan, I'm like, all right, we can get this. It's 3 checks. It outweighs the moon. I'll go save by Wyvern, head back to Earth, and hope something gives me Twin Harp.
And Twin Harp it gave you. McBain. Do I even need to ask?
really.
Were you excited because you knew what it was?
Yeah, I was a little too excited, I think.
In your head, you knew that go mode and the end of the seed was ahead of you, and in your head, the twin harp was already in your inventory.
Yep. I felt so much behind. I was, oh, I can go, and yep, I left it there. There was nothing else to check.
I was gonna say that when did that thought first start crossing your mind? What was it? The pan that eventually led to obviously half of the forge, but doing all that, and I mean, what were you? I guess you obviously. I feel like you were probably hunting for the twin harp. Did it ever cross your mind the pan and how long that took? I guess where was your mind at that point?
Frankly, I don't know where it was because I would never do that. Usually, I would at least check the Maza altar. Fading a crystal, that happens, but I don't know. I just oh, there's never anything on the moon. Usually, you find one thing on the moon, and usually it's enough.
I mean, as commentators, and I did not blame you for a second. With how many checks that provided, I liked the play. Cores, what do you think? What were your thoughts?
Yeah, I thought, I guess the danger you run into is you leave that save on the moon, and obviously if the pan is a complete whammy, I don't know if you were playing on a quick reset back to it, McBain, but then of course you had to follow the checks that it gave you, and then that kind of kept you back on Earth and kind of cleaning up all the ones you had left.
Yeah, and there was always the chance of Demas being a giant, so I couldn't leave the diamond because the ping could be on Demas. That anyway, not the ping, but the art.
And a question for I can start with Rex, but also to Roger. You both made the same decision the moment you got darkness from your Leviathan spot from that plague fight. Neither of you had hesitated. You both immediately exited out and chased darkness at different points in the game. McBain had it a little earlier, and Rex got a little later. But you both immediately exited out. So Rex, was that even a question to you, or was that just an immediate, "Hey, I got to go to the moon"?
It was an immediate, hey, I got to go to moon. The one check with Leviathan versus the 6 on the moon, just the moon was the better way to go. I was still looking for Adamant, Legend, or Twin Harp. I had to go for the more checks over just the single.
And how about you, McBain, the first time that you were down in Feymarch? Or when you got darkness?
That's pretty much the same thing I did.
Yeah.
Because, I did that because usually a Feymarch doesn't pay off for me, so once it did, I'm just gonna go. There's nothing next to it.
Yep, and it turned out that Leviathan, I think, just had an apple. Roger eventually went back and did it. So it turned out to be the right call initially to bail and head for that density up on the moon. But yeah, just an amazing race by both of you. We enjoyed when you were synced up, and as Martin said at the outset, you diverged, and then you kind of wove a tapestry of checks for us. You were often giving us opposite checks that we hadn't seen yet. Leviathan and Rex's, I think, K Bahamut check were happening at the same time. So, you really gave us a treat. I'm hoping you both get to advance to brackets. You both deserve it, and I think you'll both very much enjoy watching back the race just to see how you both ran it opposite each other.
I'm agreeing with him. Yeah, I was gonna say you both played so well there, and I at the start of this, we talk about somebody's punching their ticket into brackets and somebody's going home. There's always that third option.
We dare not speak of it.
No, and it's not that we don't love a tie, but it's so rare, and to see two runners so equally that close to get to this point where we're all patiently sitting in excitement, hoping Scala sticks her head in here soon to give us an answer that we all want to know very much. I'll tell you what, if this does end up, being a tie, both of you in the tournament, you both deserve it. After putting that on, absolutely. I would not want to face either of you.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. All I
So
know
any
is
luck?
I've been stressed this whole time with this.
Well, that's why we have to give you a week break. Okay, it's not for us. I mean, we just put you through races the entire time if we had our way. But we gotta take care of your health here. Get a little week off, little vacation, rest, relax, learn bracket flags and all their wonderful intricacies. But
Yeah, a big week-long deep breath to kind of decompress a little bit, and and hopefully sharpen your skills for the very challenging bracket flags to come. And again, we'll see which of you makes it, or both of you make it, as we're both rooting for. In the meantime, I don't know if Roger McBain, if you have any final thoughts on this just amazing race, this amazing finish.
Yeah, I'm a fool. That's my final thought.
Every single free enterprise runner has made a similar mistake. You are not alone. Not by a long shot.
nope, not at all. So Rex, your turn. What do you have for us? Final words.
I hate Val.
That's an acceptable final word. I'm okay with that too.
Sitting there, like, trying to think, okay, what am I going to be like? I forgot Baron Basement. I'm like, oh no, oh no, oh no. Go up there, it's Val. I'm like, well, okay, we can get through this. We can do this. And got through it. It gives me the white shirt. I'm glad no one could hear the words that came out of my mouth.
Wait, did you say darn?
I would say we can't put mics on runners for obvious reasons. So, speaking of, there's a mic, there's a ding. Hi, boss.
Hi.
Welcome back.
I'm back. So, admin have looked things over. We have discussed things, and we are going. And it is indeed a tie.
Congratulations to both excellent runners.
Thank you.
So congratulations. Thank you all for making more work for us. No, we're actually, we both are going to be moving on to the brackets. And that's going to be a lot of fun.
I think we're all rooting for a rematch. We're rooting for a second tie down the road, Scala. I think you agree.
Please don't do that again.
I was gonna say, why am I getting
That's
DM'd? Hold on, there's a message from Scala here. It says, Martin, we're not giving the racers a week off. We're giving admins a week off due to all the time. Oh, okay, got it. I'll remember that in the future.
So thank you all for an absolutely amazing race. That was definitely a ping I was not expecting. But you kind of never expect the ties, but at the same time, it just shows the absolutely amazing caliber of runners that we have in this community, and how well everyone has sort of kind of become matched, in terms of skill over the course of this tournament. We had, I think, 7 races that were under a minute in difference last week, and so I'm really not surprised to see a tie this week.
I was one of them.
Got a penchant for close races, it looks like.
Absolutely. So, well, once again, GG's to both of you. Congratulations on, as strange as this is to say, both of you punching your ticket into the tournament. So, well done.
Thank you, GG to McBain. That was
GG Rex.
a race.
Yep.
Oh.
Can't wait to see it.
Yep, looking forward. Thank you to look you guys on comms. Thanks to the restreamers, the trackers. We couldn't do this without you folks.
Well, go enjoy your well-earned vacation/rest, because in 11 days you're gonna need it.
Looking forward to the brackets. They're Blake said I like, so this is gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing both of you. Both of you, take care. Go have a good evening.
Have a great night. Great race.
All right, thank you, folks. Have a good evening.
All right. Wow. Cords.
Yeah. I invited them to start that off with a high five. I'm hoping they're leaving with a handshake, because it's well deserved after such a battle back and forth to end like that. It's been so much fun to call this race with you, Martin. I think we both had a humongous privilege here.
I'll say they're not the only ones that need a detox after that race. I do too, because wow, my heart.
Though I will let everyone who's still here and watching that Martin and I might be done for the night, but you are not done. There is another race that we're going to be sending you off to. We have a race on Free Enterprise between Solaris and Zoe Vermilion. Now, they have both already made the brackets, so they're kind of battling for bracket positioning at this point. So there is still something on the line, and they're both highly skilled runners. I think you'd agree, Martin, that are worth a watch.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah. Hopefully we don't send you into another tie, because I think we only can take one of those in a day, but who knows? As always, ladies and gentlemen, not that we ever have to say it, but don't spoil the race. Don't. There are people that are really going to want to watch this one. So keep that in mind when you go over. Go say hi. Go give the runners your support. Of course, you got any last words for us?
Nope. Just, again, very thankful to be a part of this one. Enjoyed it a lot. Thank you very much to Neobari on the restream for rolling this tie and for keeping track of all the tie key items that were collected. And thank you for tie commentating with me tonight, Martin.
Yeah, not a problem. I look forward to this. And of course, you were always a pleasure in the booth. Neobari, well done on the seed roll. Tavon has a lot of buttons. That's a lot of pushing buttons, so congratulations on that. All of you in chat, you've all done wonderful. Let's go say hi, Free Enterprise. Get out of here, call it an evening, and yeah, we're gonna subject you to more racing. Aren't you all just lucky?